Hey everybody, happy Monday. This is Overpass Live. My name's Eric. I make apps. This is the weekly live stream where we talk about whatever we want to talk about. We just chat about apps, we talk about business, we talk about just how things are going. And since last week, we had the WWDC, which is probably the biggest thing to happen in the past week. But, I watch these events, and I know we've had COVID and everything, and there's probably been, I suppose, innovation's probably slowed down a little bit, but I didn't really see a whole lot of new developer tools there that came out. So, not quite sure what to think about that, but it's you know, it's still interesting to see how things are going on. Like for me, a lot of the stuff I do is cross-platform anyway, so I'm doing stuff with Flutter and mostly Flutter, but some Xamarin too. So I've been doing a lot of stuff with that over the past week and connecting with Firebase and everything, which has been, just been kind of cool, right? And the weather here has just been awesome. It's probably the same. It's probably the same where you are because it's summer now, and even just now, I live on this busy intersection, and I have to close the windows. Otherwise, all you can hear is traffic. You hear traffic and boy racers, and sirens and all this kind of stuff. So I closed the windows a few minutes ago, and now I just feel the sweat start to come in. So, it might be a shorter live stream than normal. Also, for a while this year, we've been doing it at 6 p.m. I thought we're just going to move it to 5 p.m. So it allows me to do some other stuff. So, technology-wise, and last week, what have I been doing? So, I've been doing a lot of stuff with scheduled tasks in Firebase. So using Firebase functions, doing scheduled tasks, which is actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. It's a little bit more difficult to test. So I have like this scheduled job that goes off at 8 o'clock every morning using Firebase functions. It's kind of when you're doing something like that, you let that run for a few days or writing to a log, and then you put the actual plugin and stuff like that into it. And that's taken like quite a bit. Well, it's taken a few days, but not a lot of times of development costs and everything like that in terms of development time. And I've been going to the gym a lot, and the heat and everything. I've been going to the gym a lot, and I've been eating a lot. It's counterbalancing each other out. So that's just pretty much my life anyway. So let's see who's here. We got Rachel. Rachel, hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Rachel's the only one here today. So I know it's kind of summertime. We got the UEFA Cup going on. Lots of people are doing other things. Dude, it's fine. So anyway, and also in terms of new technologies and everything, I've been reading a lot about Maui, thinking getting into that a bit more and trying to see whether or not I can take some of the current. I'm using .NET 5 Xamarin on a few projects, and I'm thinking about maybe I can move that into Maui. Although it's one of those things where I'm not sure if there's a real good reason to yet. Like I've kind of fallen in love with using Flutter and how quick the quick reload times and everything like that. And when it comes to other technologies like actually going native with Swift or anything like that for iOS 15, I guess is coming up. It's still something that hasn't appealed to me a whole lot. I mean, so I'd be interested to know from you guys, like for those guys who are watching. So it seems like Rachel. So Rachel, what technology are you using? And I've also been working on the SMBC app, the Sophomore Boxing Club app, which it's been the case where I've been getting up and just sitting at the computer, and next thing you know, it's noon, and I'm still sitting here in my pajamas. Well, in my pajamas because I've just been enjoying working on it so much, using Flutter as a backend, putting a lot of stuff in there for scheduling classes, and then I've also been going to the gym a lot. So this is kind of the excitement of it all. Oh, so last week I went to my first sparring session on last Wednesday, and it was I was terrified of actually sparring, like going into the ring and sparring with somebody else, and they went easy on me because I'm new, but I'm thinking I think the last time I was actually punched in the face was I must have been 13. So it was so I get into the ring and I'm trying to remember everything. It's so much different. In fact, you know what? Doing the sparring's a lot like putting an app live. I was thinking about this. I nearly made a video about it, but thought sounds like I'm reaching, but I wasn't because it was the first thing I thought, right? Because when you're learning software development and you're doing error handling, you learn the error handling bits, you're it's not as much fun as actually building something, right? So you kind of you don't think a lot about logging and error handling and all that kind of stuff. right? Until you have something that goes live, and then you've got issues everywhere, and then you realize, oh, that stuff's important. Being able to know if an issue happens, what happens, how are you going to find out about it? Are you going to be writing back to a log or analytics or Crashlytics or whatever, right? All that stuff you can easily gloss over when you're all about just the building, just the offense. You're just like, I want to do something, right? And then when you actually go live, then you realize how important that is. And so for the last few months, I've been doing these, practicing the boxing and everything like that, and just using the heavy bags and everything like that, working on the different punches and everything like that, get my form down. But you know what? When you get in the ring and then somebody's punching back at you, that all goes out the window. It's like, all right, maybe I shouldn't gloss over, just like you shouldn't gloss over air handling. Maybe you shouldn't gloss over the slips and the bobs and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, Rachel's using Flutter and Firestore. That's awesome. That's what I'm using too. So, and doing a lot of the funny thing about Firestore, the other thing, just in the last few weeks, I only finally started getting used to using subquery collections. Like for the longest time, because I was thinking, I think when I did my first Firestore project, and we're only talking 2 years ago, I did everything as if it was SQL Server. I had a foreign key in all the objects, and I would go and I would retrieve something. I couldn't join it, but I would bring all the collections down into the code, and then just try to do the manipulations by looping through it, which was not the best. And now just being able to use some sub collection queries, it's actually working out really, really well. I'm really enjoying it. So let's see. Kevin's here. Kevin, hey, good evening. Let's see. Daniel Prince, second time in your life, and no, the last one didn't suck. It was all great. Thanks, Daniel. Dude, I know it's weird today. There's hardly anybody here. But I appreciate you guys showing up. And like I said, if you guys just joined, I am sweating like a pig. It's really warm here today, but I got this. I live in this flat, which I just love. It's on this busy intersection. I can hear sirens at night and everything like that. Just because, not because it's a dangerous neighborhood, because I live next to an ambulance station. Ooh, I know how to pick them, but it's, if I leave the windows open, that's all you guys will be able to hear is the sounds of the street outside. So, so I watched most of the WWDC keynote last week. I didn't watch very much of the rest of it. I think every time I watch the WWDC events, I think of it more as a consumer, because they talk about stuff that's coming out in the platform that would be useful, for not so much as a developer, because when they talk about stuff the developers can do, and Google does this too, but they're talking about oh, we shared this functionality with these big developers beforehand so they can create these, these things, they'll share it with Uber or whatever. What was it? Some of the big brands they were sharing something with, was it? But what's some of the, it's, I'm trying to think. There's a bunch of maps features that were really cool. There was, a lot of it had to do with just things that were in the platform, like FaceTime. I'm never going to integrate FaceTime into my applications, right? It's kind of a, does anybody do that? I'll integrate, Apple Maps into the applications, but only if I'm doing the iOS version. So, let's see. Rachel says, I think it's a combination of the Euros and the weather. Yeah, I know. I went out yesterday afternoon. See, so I've lived here for over 20 years, and I just never got into football. I still, I didn't even know the Euros were going on. Yesterday afternoon, I went for a walk, and it was it was so hot. It was beautiful outside, but there was nobody out. And then I realized, England's playing, and everybody was inside watching it. So, I'll watch baseball. I've been watching baseball a bit, but yeah. So we might just have a short live stream today then. Unless you guys have anything you want to talk about. Olga says, and why an American in the UK? Isn't the USA the capital of app development, or at least better than the Queensland? Yeah, it's more like being I came to England I've told this story before, but I came to England because I was married to an English woman, and we lived in the States for a few years, and she wanted to be close to her family, so I agreed to move out here for 2 years. I said 2 years we can move out to 2 years. Yeah, that'd be good, because I was studying to be a teacher. I was getting my history degree, studying to get my history degree, And I thought that would be awesome. That would be good professionally. If I said I used to live in Europe for a couple of years, and I thought that would be like really cool. And then we moved out here, and I couldn't get a job anywhere. I worked in a factory for a few months, and then I somehow landed into IT, which is another really good story. But I feel like I tell that story too often. But I found myself into the software market, and software is this weird thing where you could go and you get all kinds of qualifications, right? You can go to school and do all kinds of stuff, or you can learn it and just prove what you know. So I had my history degree, and within I was in 5 years, I was making more money than most of the people I was working with, by just, it was software is such a weird industry because you assume that everybody knows everything. You assume that when you come into it, everybody's like, they all know more than I do, but you could become the expert on the latest thing because you just can't keep up with everything. So when we talk about we talk about Firestore, we talk about Flutter and Firestore, there are people who are just, they could become the experts in that. And there's going to be people who are, they've been developers for 10, 20 years, and they're still busy with their own stuff. They don't have time to learn this new stuff. So coming into it, you become an expert in that one thing. Now, the problem, a lot of the experience as being a developer comes from not just learning the new technologies, but also having the experiences of, I don't know, wiping out a database, having an app crash as soon as it goes out to other devices, all that kind of stuff, right? A lot of that experience comes from experience, obviously, but you could become the expert on that new technology and just get on that train. Now, when it comes to actually getting a job, I know there's a lot of people, they do look at those years and they try to think of some way to quantify it, right? I think one of the things I did early on was I went for the MCSD, the Microsoft Certified Solution Developer qualification, because I thought at least it would give me something. It would give me something I could show to say that, yes, I know this stuff. And it was strange how when I did get it, it was more like it was for me than anybody else. There's a book, I don't know if I still have it on my shelves, but I've done a video about it before, which was about just being able to interview well, right? If you can go into an interview and just be confident, a lot of times you can get those jobs, right? Even though they're looking for, they might be saying, okay, we want somebody with a bit more experience, but if you have the right attitude, if you're the right kind of person they can work with, then they'll hire you. And I've always done really well with that kind of stuff. So that's why I'm in the UK. Yeah, and I haven't, one of the things people keep saying is I haven't lost the accent, but I was 25 when I moved here. It was set in. So, Wawaru, hey, how's it going, Wawaru? Let's see. Chris Peterson says, any thoughts on Epic versus Apple? I know we talked about this before, but I'm on two minds about this. Part of me thinks that Apple does have a monopoly, right? Apple, I think, we always talk about how Apple and Google have monopolies. Google doesn't have a monopoly. You could still release an Android app on other platforms, but for an iPhone app, you can't. Now, it's still, Apple doesn't have a monopoly because you can go with Android, I guess. It's all that kind of stuff. And so when we talk about that 30%, we knew that going in. I had some clients, I had one client, this is kind of bad because I've been working on this, my developer's been working on his app for a few months, and we're talking about the in-app purchases. And then I mentioned the 30%. He knew nothing about it. He's like, they take 30%? What? Why did you tell me this? I was like, they're still the only market in town. It's like saying, it's like paying taxes. You just there's no way around it. We can complain about it, but there's no way around it. So it's kind of nice that somebody with the strength of Epic is challenging it. But they also we agreed to it when we signed up. So I'm kind of two minds about it. I'm glad they've lowered it for the, it's already had a good impact on us, not so much on Epic, but, Rachel says, I'm switching over to Mac for development. For some reason, I can't get Flutter automation package to work on Mac to generate this key store. So I'm having to create a Windows and copy it over. Really? I'm switching over to Mac. For some reason, I can't get the Flutter automation package to work on Mac to generate a key store. So having to create a Windows and copy it over. I didn't even know you could create it in Windows. I think I've just been doing it. Yeah. What are you using for Flutter automation? Are you using Fastlane? Huh, I'll have to check that. I've never used the Flutter automation package. Tom Francis says, "Hey Eric, dropping by again. This was a long time ago. Hey Tom, how's it going? Are you watching the Euro Cup?" See, Rachel says, "I spent too long developing on Windows, Java programs, websites, etc., only to test on Mac and Safari, and it not going to develop. So going to develop on Mac first. Do you know what, Rachel? I worked with as a contractor. I was a .NET developer, so I was I was a Windows guy, and I mean, I was a Windows guy up until about Windows 8, and I installed Windows 8, and I was like, oh, you know what? I got these apps now, and I'm just gonna switch over to Mac, and I got this MacBook. I'm looking for it, but it's like when I first got the MacBook, I was like, it was so like I'd hear people, Mac people love to talk about how, oh, the beauty, the aluminum case, the feel of it. It's just it's just better. And I remember like 37 Signals, who does Basecamp and all that, who did the Basecamp software. They were like, all these ads where they say you just got to work with beautiful software. You have the tools you could use and everything like that. And all the Mac people would talk about, you know what? It just works. That's the thing about it. It just works. They don't concern you with things you don't need to be concerned about. And when I got that MacBook, I remember thinking, oh, maybe this is like a new me. Like I'll open this thing up, and I hated it. Oh, I hated the Mac. I hated the Mac because it was like the things were slick, but some things were just like dumb. Like they would just give you, they would just not give you enough things to change. I want to go into the registry and tweak things. I mean, for Linux guys, they're like, choose Windows, you can do that. But like, no, I mean, even on Windows, you go into the registry, you can install stuff, there's all kinds of things you could do. And on a Mac, it's just, there's just, I don't know. Apple doesn't seem to be the most developer friendly until you open up Xcode and you realize, dude, like, how much stuff do you think I need? Like every other tool on the Mac is like, they don't want to give you any preferences. They don't want to give you any way to change anything. You open up Xcode, you're like, damn, man, like how much stuff do you think I need here? Like, they got so many different things you could drill down into on Xcode. But I use the JetBrains tools and everything like that. But so anyway, Rachel, what I'm saying is, if you might feel that way too when you start on a Mac, but just stick with it. Like, it does get better. But I was like ready, like after like a couple of days, just to send it back because it messed me up. The whole control and command thing. So like, you do whatever, Control C, Control V is Command C, Command V, and it's in a different place. And I tried to find all this software to switch them around, and you think it would be something that they would just make it easy to do, but they don't, because they're Apple and they don't do nothing for nobody. They don't do nothing for nobody. Theo Taylor is in the house. He's just passing by. Stay. Let's see. Wawaru says, could you please review my project on Play Store? FIDA POS. Sure. What is POS? What does POS stand for? Let's see. All right. Let's show my screen here. Okay, so we're going to have a look at, was it FIDA POS for Wawaru? Oh, FIDA. Is it FIDA? Okay. I assume it's this one. Point of sale. Oh, point of sale. Oh, sorry about that. Well, I don't know. I used to work at a company called EPOS, which is electronic point of sale. So I don't know why I hear POS and I think of piece of whatever. So sell items directly from your phone. Manage inventory and stock levels. Handle your transactions and history. Print receipts of all transactions. Summary business performance. Cool. Okay, because I see these two screenshots joined together. FIDA point of sale and inventory is a perfect point of sale application solution for running your small, medium business shops, boutiques, bookstores, and more, offering a simple interface, lots of free features, manage inventory. So how does it work? Does it integrate with any other systems? You're on version 0.2.1, 10 plus installs. Wow, in-app purchases going up to $37.49. Cool. I think the one question that I immediately to mind is like, how does it work? Is everything manually input, or are you somehow integrating with other systems? I mean, a video would be really good on this. I mean, what do the rest of you guys think? In terms of the icon and everything like that, I think it looks pretty cool. Let's do a search on inventory. You guys can see my screen, right? Stock and inventory. Yeah, what do the rest of you guys think on that? Yeah, FIDA POS, point of sale. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Let's see. Tom Francis not watching Euros. The Netherlands played yesterday. Oh, cool. Angelina, hey Eric, it's been a while. I need to buy a Mac after my Tesla. Yeah, I mean it is. I've gone totally. Okay, so I've gone totally off the deep end. Like the only thing I don't have is an Apple TV now. I think last week I got some AirPods Pro because my AirPods just kept falling out of my ears when I'm working out and everything like that. So I got the AirPods Pro AirPods, sorry, AirPods Pro, and dude, those are nice. I was surprised actually. I was surprised that they were nicer than I thought they would be. Like the way they, there's an assistant where it listens to the microphone, so it gets you that tight, that make sure you have a tight seal, like helps you determine which of the bud things to put on it and everything like that. But I've got the watch, I've got the phone, I've got a couple of iPhones over here, including my day-to-day phone. I've got the iMac with from last year with 72 gigs of RAM on it, and I've also got the iPad, But yes, they are expensive. So let's see. Theo Taylor says I have a point of sale as well, but it's for bars and it's on the iPad OS. Oh, okay, cool. How does that work? Let's see. So yeah, let's have a look at this. So actually, let's have a look again. I just want to have a look at. Let's walk through some of the steps. Since we're a bit quiet today, let's walk through some of the steps what we do when we check these kind of apps out. Because sometimes I rush through because we have like a lot to do, or we have a lot of questions and I'm falling behind. But today, it's just us. It's just us chilling, hanging. So we got FIDA point of sale. So if I was going to go into App Annie, which is like my, I mean, and I assume all of you guys have an App Annie account, like the free account. The paid account is like ridiculously expensive. Like you can't even buy it. You have to like talk to the representative, all that kind of stuff. Which is, once you have to talk to a representative, you're in trouble. Because like, then you got the sales guy talking to you. So we got FIDA point of sale. See, so what I will do usually, like if I'm checking on my own apps or taking a look at somebody else's, I'll go in and have a look at this, because there you got, they start to lock a lot of these things down, but you check the daily ranks, which is, is it ranking for anything? Nope, it's not. And has it ever ranked for anything? I mean, it's still very new, so it probably hasn't. But we could also have a look at the ASO keywords, which is really more that I'm more interested in. So here we can see what, it takes the top of things. So for point of sale with no spaces in it, it's ranking number 17. Actually, no, this is, I'm looking at the United Kingdom. Let's go United States, because United Kingdom is such a small market. So, for United States, wait. Hey, are you translated on here? Let's see. Okay, another thing to do on Google Play, for those of you guys who may not know this, you go to HL equals ZHCN. I think it's HL. Yeah, so you can take a look at something in the language, the Play Store language of the code up here. So you put So I can see actually for some reason, so you are not translating it into Chinese, but for some reason you are actually ranking number 14 on this, which is Suyuan the Dianqingyan, which I don't know what that means, but let's have translate.google.com. Point of sale information. So you are, ranking in Chinese. Let's go back to, and for point of sale, you're ranking 42, but that's like all of one, number 69. So there's some potential here if somebody is looking for point of sale. However, is point of sale really what we're looking for in terms of that? So anyway, a lot of the times when we're looking at applications, like somebody says, let's look at the app. We'll start with looking at the Play Store. So we just say, like, okay, this is this is my opinion, or let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at this page and see, how would we rank this? But then you have to think about the journey. Like the first thing, the first page people are going to see if they're looking for, point of sale. And a point of sale is kind of a weird one because I think of like things being at the till. But if I typed in point of sale, like what kind of things would I be competing against? And like how does your icon compare to all the others in your targeted keywords? So that's step number one. They have to find the application. Step number two is once they find the application, they have to like decide whether or not they want to actually download it. So how do the screenshots look? I do like how you've had this thing going sideways. It looks really cool here, but when I go in here and go here and here, then the second screenshot doesn't work on its own. So if I'm looking at it on a phone, it's not going to look as cool. And then also sell items directly on your phone. I don't know how that works. Like this is the thing when I think if you could illustrate that a little bit more would be cool. But anyway, like being able to use App Annie, if those are guys who don't use it, and there's other tools out there and there's more that coming out all the time, I suppose. But this is still one of my favorite ones to do. So, and you could also see whether or not it's been featured, all that kind of stuff, and which is cool. Let's see. Tom Francis says, about the 30% to 15% charge, I received an email from Google that I should apply. Is it something I should do now or make sure when I need it later? Or can I just do this by the time I need it? I think you should do it now. I mean, just in case. I didn't get one. It's like a lot of people on the Discord server were saying they got that email. I didn't get one. I don't know why. Let's see. Waru says, I'll definitely add a video clip to demo how it works. Thanks. No, I think that would be cool. I think that would be cool. Just something to go with that. Ron Deere, hello. Hello, Ron Deere. How are you? Let's see. And Tom says, what do you think about the new, not yet released M1 MacBook Pro 16-inch? I'm waiting for Apple to release it so I could give it myself a present. I know. I got the, I've been working on the MacBook Air M1, and it's actually really nice. I think the one issue I'm having at the moment, okay. The one issue I'm having with the M1 chip is the Android emulator doesn't work. That's my, so I have to so if I go, if I'm working remotely, I have to take an Android phone with me and the right cable. I have to make sure I have the right cable so I can run it on an Android phone. But I'd love to be able to get that to work on the emulator. But I could work the iPhone simulator on it just fine. And even with the small screen, it's kind of cool just because the portableness of it. I'm spoiled by having these 27-inch monitors in front of me, and I want to get used to. I want to get used to traveling more and being able to use that smaller screen, and even just the MacBook Air is very powerful. So I do like it. And when I talked about the Apple fans saying how sleek the computer is, it is sleek. It is awesome. I do like it. It's really cool. Let's see. So wow. Oh well. I guess we might. Maybe we should end the live stream early today. Wow, this is weird. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Is this right? Does anybody have any other questions? So yeah, we'll end the live stream early. I think we'll. I think you're right. It's so warm. It's so hot in this flat. But let's see. We've got also Docker isn't something which runs fine, I think. Okay, so yeah, you can run wireless debugging on your Android phone. I've never done that yet. Rodrigo was telling you about that, how to do that years ago, and I was like, I've never done it. I've never done the wireless. Like even, I'm like, I'm Mr., oh, it's science fiction and everything. I don't know why I haven't adopted how to do that yet or even like learned it. I think I have so much trouble. I have so much trouble even debugging with a USB cable. I guess I'll always have to unplug it, plug it back in, unplug it, plug it back in, do ADB devices to see if it's actually registered the stupid thing, because for some reason, especially on my Mac, it's been on all the Macs I've had. Like I have an Android device plugged in. I'm doing ADB devices. Everything's fine. And for whatever reason, it would just lose its connection. And I have to unplug it, check it again, plug it back in, check it again. And I hope it takes. It's like really iffy when I work with it. I don't know if anybody else has had that kind of issue. Everyone else is on vacation. I know. We should be on vacation. Would you advise using ads on Play Store? Yeah, I would. I mean, you might as well. I mean, you have to. When we talk about, are you talking about spending money on ads to get people to your application? Yes, but I think if it was something that, if you're going to spend money on ads, it depends on how much money you want to spend and how much you're going to make for it. You have like a pretty healthy in-app purchase price in there. So you could do something that's a bit more, like if you could do a Facebook ad and target the right people, then you're not competing with this people searching for the one thing. Like if you did a Google Play ad and you happen to show up at the top of a list or somebody looking for what you have, I suppose that would work because you know that that's what they want. Yeah, you could try it. I would try it with a small budget and see how it does. Let's see. Wireless ends up eating too much battery, does it? You're talking about for the ADB stuff. Would you guys pay for ads on Google Play Store? Yeah, I would. I would say if you can, you need to get people in your application. That's the problem that you're going to have, right? It's the thing about the app development. It's not the problem we all suffer with is that everything is too saturated. How can you get people to find it, right? How can you get people to find it? And you can think about different types of keywords and what people are looking for. And how's the algorithm actually going to serve you? And the algorithm is going to be weighted a lot towards the apps that already have a lot of downloads and a lot of reviews and stuff like that, which when you're starting off, you're not going to have. So you got to think about how do you get people to it? And ads are the perfect way to do that. But test those ads out. Like, you can't just say, like, a lot of people talk about, if I spent this much money on ads, how many downloads you think I'd get? And I'm like, dude, it depends on the quality of the ad, because you could spend money on a sucky ad and nobody's going to click on it, right? You have to like get something that's actually, that works. That's why you do a small budget to begin with. Do a small budget, try different things, and see what that click-through rate is, and see what that cost per install is. Let's see, Fist 007's here. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? I hope you're doing well, and business is doing fantastic. It is. I mean, things are going well. Like, a couple weeks ago in Portugal, last week, working away. I've just been like head down, just working, and it's been kind of nice. It's kind of nice where about a couple of years ago, I had all these plates spinning, and I was just like busy. And there are times where I think, dude, I'm gotten soft. I'm getting like, I need to bring on some more clients. I need more stuff. But then I'm also like, I'm just enjoying life and just doing that kind of stuff. So, let's see. And you look like you're melting. Is it that hot? And I had to close the windows. Because there's a lot of traffic outside. So, I am going to, as soon as the live stream is over, I'm going to open the windows. I'm going to turn on the fan. I'm going to do all that kind of stuff. So. Anyway, so hey everybody, thanks for joining the live stream this week. I hope you guys have had a good week. I know it's been it's been a bit laid back this week. That's cool. That's fine. Sometimes it is. So I hope you guys have a great week ahead. We're if you want to chat a bit more, get on the Discord server, hang out a little bit, the whole community. Well, there's a big community on there. If you have any questions, everything like that, we can all help each other out. I hope you guys have a great week. To enjoy life, you need a Mustang. Tried that already, but yeah, that would be nice. So, all right, everybody have a great week. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll talk to you next time.